Okay, I'm gonna state this as someone that as you guys seen my videos in our project, which is focused on the political side in our history, and it's a lot to talk about it. But this is something like I was talking about in my first book, which is the statues. Of the European, which is standing outside the building or standing on the street. And the other thing too is the money. As you guys knows, the different bidders of amount of money or value 20, $10, $1, $50, $100. They have the picture of someone in it. In the case in the United States, the most popular one, I think Lincoln or George Washington in $1 bill. And then there's the other ones. And that means that represents just the one side, represents the European, represents the killing of our Native American people, and represents the slaves owners during the centuries. So that's the thing has caused all this movement after the George Floyd's death in Minnesota. So many young people, I think they have a very, very clear knowledge about the history of the United States, how tragically has been forgotten in our schools. Of course, it is important to have those image so that we can learn something about the history, about a different heritage, because all those statues represents the heritage of the 13 European colonial. And the most important thing too, as you guys see now, so many division in the political sides with the leaders around the country. I think it has to do with the civil war that was ended in 1766, the founding of this country. The Federalist and the Confederation flag, they were fighting against the United States leader, or the idea to create a United States nation, because they wanted to create as the 13 leader, as the Confederation leaders in different states. They wanted a government, but they wanted to support themselves, to control the people, to have a control in the economic side, but they wasn't an agree about electing officials to represent them, just like the Washington idea. So that's why I think we see in this 17th or 16th or 18th centuries fight over the country or how to rule the country. So I think we're seeing it back about all this disagreement, all these people taking sides about statues taken down. Some people they agree about it. We should address the issues, but how? I think I am with those people that these statues should be removed, should be put in a museum, so the people, the next generation, can learn about the history, or take the history so they can be taught in school, or so they can be talked about it in school. But how you going to implanted all this discussion with kids, not taking or not radicalizing them in one side or in the other side. So I think it is important to create a dialogue in our university and our middle schools, and knowing the real history of the United States. So as you guys knows too, that all this defunding of police that has created all this movement of taking down the statues, which is good, because I'm one of them that I've been offended by going to a government building and going inside and seeing statues of European people that have killed my people. I mean, it's something like it's hard to imagine after all this what's going on. So all this movement. I hope we can agree, all these different side of parties, they can agree in creating dialogue that all the parks and public space, no statues should be placed on those space. That's the only way we can make some healing, or we can come together to build the United States, and not let those couple of people's confederation members, or the confederation heritage European, the 13th colonial, that they caused a lot of damage to this country by creating this country. Remember the civil war that was taking place back then, about this flag, about this part of this design of this flag, and then the Confederate flag, or the Federalist flag. The battle, there were like civil war, like fighting over the country, how it can be ruled by any Europeans. So, but at the end, I think all the United States under George Washington, Lincoln, and other people who founded the United States as a country, not confederation, not federalist. So I think that's all. This old history is coming back in discussion at this moment. But I think we should take down, we should move all the statues, all the monuments inside a museum, and have an understanding of it. And all this image of any large bill should be removed too, should be replaced by something that is really creating or coming people together, or taking care of each other, or respecting of each other. The other image too that is really painful for me is that in Dakotas, I think North Dakota or South Dakota, with the Dakotas sacred land, which is the four images, which is the Mount Rushmore, something like that. So those three images should be taken down, because those sacred land, there was a hare that is a black, call it black horse hare, that was destroyed by those architects, or by those sculptures that they made those images and those hares. So that means that they're imposing some image against the will of the real American people. So all these images should be displaced with something that has a really, really good meaning, how to come united and how to create a better society, so that we can share the vision of this great country for everybody under a diversity flag, which is the one we have here. Is this, and maybe one day I'm going to talk about it. This star, this shape over here, or the black star, it has to do with the slave. So, and I mean, it's really hard. As you guys know, Lincoln ended the slave and paid the price, because the Confederation members, they killed him. Probably, I'm not really telling you that what was happening, but it's signing me my emotion or my idea after reading the history of the United States. So so that's the video today, guys, and peace, guys, and not defending the police too. But I have to tell the truth. As someone of brown color, we've been victim of aggressions so many times by white peoples, but most of the times by black peoples, and we know that as a community. So we must learn the history of George Floyd. What was he doing before he got killed? I know he has some dark history back then, but I just leave it to the air. But we are with the policing reform, but do not defund the police. Thank you, guys, and share this video.